You've reached Hall in Mockery.
Hey, choosy moms choose Jif. Choosy moms choose Jif. Well, I'm choosing to live in another house, Mom, because I want Skippy. Am I right?
Skippy au natural.
Yes.
I like my Skippy so natural, I take the wrapping off of it.
But I don't want to stir my PB.
I don't want to stir my PB.
That's why I don't get those other natural peanut butters, because they're too natural.
Do you want to hear the biggest lie?
Here's what I get. I get the big natural Skippy, and I don't have to stir. It's a
Yeah.
little bit wet, but that big natural Skippy is perfect for what I'm looking for.
I'm looking for
Go, biggest
that
lie.
big natural BBC. It's, and there's two bigs in there, but big, beautiful crunch.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't like crunch.
And I do.
You know why they call it the American dream? Because you have to be asleep to believe it. You know what here's the second biggest lie the government ever told us.
Yeah.
I went to the store last week looking for some peanut butter. And
now
There
for
wa-
something completely different.
the minister of O'Brien, Jesus was just born. Auga.
It's actually
Come on.
Conan O'Brien.
I saw at the
Store.
no stir peanut butter, and guess what I saw? I saw a third of the jar was oil.
Yeah. You're stirring that. And by the way, we are, of course, in our new studio where that is completely soundproof at this point. The last few weeks we've been working on trying to make sure it was perfect, and it wasn't.
And I think we talked about this on our old show, but you've got brown noise. You've got pink noise. You've got, I think green noise is kind of a new,
Yeah, it's like
hey man. So we eliminated all of that.
all the noise is gone.
You could say this,
The herd is gone.
well,
The herd is gone.
the herd is gone because of this. I am raising lions, not sheep.
Well, yes, we're lions, not sheep. And by the way, speaking of not being a sheep, I saw Joey a couple days ago for something that we can't get into right now.
Yeah,
but
don't.
what I did do after seeing Joey
Okay.
is I put a mustache on.
Yeah. And if you're watching the video,
If you can see us clear over here,
hello.
hi.
No, not you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We both have mustaches now.
We're double mussed up.
And that's not, I didn't do it because Joey had one. I did it because I wanted to have a mustache. And I thought it would give us something to talk about on our little show that we do, because unfortunately something happened with the phone line this week.
The phone line's not working, but
Yeah.
we do have a someone that we there. First, let me say this: I saw Landon, and after I
Okay,
saw
yes.
Landon, because of this thing, whom we must not name,
Yes.
Landon, while we were out, said, "I got a terry cloth shirt," and so what I did was I went home and I put mine on,
Yeah.
and I haven't taken it off yet.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, it's kind of a sham wow material. It doesn't necessarily feel good on, but it looks good.
The temperature of our studio does not lend well to the terry cloth shirt. It's heavy, it's itchy, it feels like shit. So, someone brought something to our attention.
Hey, by the way, remember on The Simpsons when they would go do that little show, Heavy and Itchy?
Yeah.
The Heavy and Itchy Show. I'll get you heavy if it's the last thing I do.
And he's like, then Heavy takes one. He keeps eating and eating, and then he eats a mint. At the very end, he eats a mint. And it's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah,
and he just
exactly.
freaking explodes.
And by the way, what is the Simpsons dog's name?
Santa's little helper.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Landon, fall is coming. I'm like the guy in Game of Thrones that wears a cardigan. Fall is coming. You know?
Yeah. Instead of a big galleon of a big, what do you call those?
A galleon.
Of mead.
A goblet.
A goblet of mead.
Yeah.
You've got a freaking goblet of pun and spice latte.
Yeah.
You're like,
with this pun spice latte, I declare fall is coming.
There was a sign on a billboard downtown that just said winter is here! !
and Joey was like, I saw the sign. I'm gonna talk about it on my cast.
Landon.
Then he broke his leg and got a cast, and he wrote on the cast, I saw the sign, and everyone was like confused. They're like, what the heck are you talking about?
And then
Joey,
I took my cast, and someone had written on it poser. And I crossed out the S and I changed it to a V. Because I think we are all part of the Poover Club. How soon is too soon for the fall treats? They're hitting shelves. It's not even September.
by the way, bring him on.
Bring them on. You like them.
Well, here's the problem. Here's something that we always run into at our house, and I know some friends out there, potential listeners out there, might be going through something similar.
Exactly.
The fall decor, the Halloween, the spooky season is about to be upon us. But September might seem a little too early.
Here's my thing. I'm a September 1st kind of bitch. So I went to Menards, which for those of you that don't live in our little microcosm, because we know we have listeners in Thailand, we've got listeners in Ireland, we've got listeners in the Netherlands, we've got listeners in the nether regions. They've already got all of their Halloween stuff out and their fall stuff. Here's what I say. This came up. You skip the fall stuff.
Skip the fall
It's
stuff.
too, because you got this and then what? And then you go to Halloween, or then do you put Halloween and then the fall stuff for Thanksgiving?
No.
Screw Thanksgiving.
That's what I say.
Get it out of here. Just put up your Christmas tree at that point. But not too soon.
Well, that's what, in my house, last year, we did Christmas, I think, maybe the day after Thanksgiving or something like that. And we had a full month of, actually, I think it was before Thanksgiving. We jumped the old, I can't think because our studio is so quiet. But
it's that thing where it's so quiet that you start to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, you start to go gaga.
Like, am I hearing sounds? I'm hearing sounds that probably no one listening can hear.
They can hear that one. I'm going completely gaga, 5'2".
Yeah. And hey, baby, why don't you pull your pants down so we can stand cheek to cheek?
Okay, baby, I'll stand with my cheeks.
You say,
Mrs. J.
Okay. So yes, we poisoned the well a little bit when we put the Christmas stuff out too early. So I would suggest to any listener who may be wondering my opinion, don't do it too early. What say you?
You can't do it too early because I would say maybe wait until after Thanksgiving
For Halloween stuff?
to put up your Halloween stuff. Because then next year it seems like, oh, it's already Halloween.
Right.
But then you bite yourself in the ass because then you're too far from the next Halloween.
Wait, baby, don't bite me in the ass.
I'll try not to, but no promises. I got these chompers and I use them on your ass. So I brought along something that I've never seen before.
Oh.
And also I've declared this. Hear ye. Mm-hmm. Halloween's back. Because the last couple of years, candy companies...
How we doing?
What's up? Halloween companies. Oh my God!
He can't even think straight.
Candy companies have not been doing so hot on the candy front. They haven't been doing anything that special.
No.
But then I go to the store last week and it's like, bleh. Because they've got green Snickers, they've got green Twix, they got eyeballs made out of what's it. It's just everything's back this year. They said the pandemic is over.
Hey.
Our long national nightmare is over.
It's over. And it was just here in the nation, nowhere else.
So I heard of something and I said, this will probably be good for us to try.
Oh.
What's your take on Tootsie Rolls?
Hate them.
Yep. So I got Tootsie Roll Harvest Chews.
Yes.
These are only available at Walgreens. And I went to 3 different ones to find them because I heard they were flying off the shelves and they were going for $16 online. I said that's not going to happen. We've got 4 Fall Harvest Chew Tootsie Roll flavors.
Spray them at me.
Cinnamon. Thoughts?
Okay.
Caramel apple.
I love caramel apples. I love the suckers that are caramel apple flavored.
Okay, then I'm going to save... Okay, pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, and this is why I got them. Candy corn.
You know that I like candy corn and peanuts.
Yeah.
But
Peanuts.
candy corn on its own is something I do not futz with.
But this is a candy corn flavored Tootsie Roll.
I did say futz with. Now, here's the caveat to
I
the
can't hear you.
Here's the caveat to the Tootsie Roll conundrum. Are they good? Are they bad? Most of the time, they're bad. But when you get those flavored Tootsie Rolls, the ones that are, yes, in the sort of retro-looking wrapper, and they have vanilla Tootsie Roll.
The fruit ones. Yep.
These are something I like. So I'll probably like these.
Yeah, they had those too, and I was like, I should probably just get those.
You know what's so funny while you're divvying these up, though?
What, Divvy?
The fact that we didn't discuss anything before the show about what sort of things we might bring up, what decorations we'd have up in our studio. But something I'm going to talk about later falls perfectly in line with the Halloween theme that you've concocted here, me boy. So, I just want to say that is serendipity.
That's great to hear.
Okay, while he's still doing that, I do want to also bring up something that I wrote down that I thought was interesting. Wasps.
Uh-huh.
We can't think of a different way to talk about them. The SPS, not just wasps, anything with the SPS at the end.
Uh-huh.
I sound like an idiot.
You can take out the first S.
Wops. Much better. All right, what are we doing?
Let's see here.
Wasps.
Wasps. What was the word I was
Wasps.
thinking of?
Wasps.
Oh, the word that's hard to say. Klasky
Chupso.
Klapsky Chupsko.
I'm getting by on my Klasky Chupso.
What one do we do first? Do we get candy corn out of the way?
Someday when we do our full set, our full stand-up set that we're going to do eventually, and we record it for everyone to hear, a completely silent audience listen to us doing stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
I will somehow fold in the wasps thing.
So I'll say about this one, it's cone.
Yeah, it's cone and it is yellow. Yours sounded hard. Is it?
Touch it again.
Oh, nope, completely soft.
I like this one.
Yep, it's good.
I don't like candy corn. I hate it. I hate candy corn. But this
This one's actually really good.
one gets the nut.
Mm-hmm. What?
That's our new rating system.
It is?
Does it or does it not get the nut?
Okay, I like that. Because this is not lunch break. But the segment, maybe we can do that. The segment is lunch break.
This is the lunch break segment. It's not going to be every week.
No.
Everyone hates it. But for you few freaks that want to hear, maybe you saw this at the store, but you don't want to drop 4 bones on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to tell you, you probably should.
That one does get the nut for me as well.
Yes. 2 nuts.
Should we go to caramel apple?
Yeah.
And do you say caramel ironically or unironically?
I said caramel,
Yeah.
but when I looked at the word, I got scared.
Okay.
Caramel.
Again, this one's kind of strange too because the wrapper's
Ugh.
brown and then you open it and it's green.
It's kind of a nasty green.
It's got
Huh.
a nice smell to it.
I'm going in.
Yeah.
That takes me back.
Yep. And this tastes exactly like the caramel apple sucker, which I love.
It's tart.
Mhm.
It chews like a caramel. Hey, Tootsie Roll. The fact that your main flavor is
It's absolute garbage. And it even looks like a little turd. That's what's so funny about Tootsie Rolls. They're like, you know what we're going to do? Make turds for candy.
and they just come in different sizes.
It's like, you get a long, skinny one. You get a fat, chodly one. You get...
I've so far counted 5 different sizes of the normal Tootsie Roll.
You know the one that has, like, segments?
Mm-hmm.
They all look like different styles of turds. each version.
I love that.
I love that, too. This caramel apple gets a nut for me.
Yeah, 2 nuts.
2 nuts so far. I think we saved cinnamon.
Yeah.
I thought pumpkin spice. Yeah, I kind of want to save that one too. Nah,
Well,
let's save cinnamon. That's the one that's going to be the strangest, I think.
yeah. And it's going to be the most intense.
Yeah, it might be.
Much,
Okay.
much like a
Much like
A wedding, an outdoor wedding that you see on Pinterest.
This one piques my Pinterest.
Hmm.
Interesting. Kind of tastes like a candle.
Mhm.
A candle that I'd like to eat.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I gotta say, I think actually this is the least.
Yeah.
The least of these so far, but ultimately it does get a nut from me.
Serving size is 5 pieces. There's only 4 flavors.
So they're begging you to pick your favorite.
Yeah. Like, well, which one do you want? 2 of, honey,
Yeah.
before bedtime.
What do you think of that one?
Kind of tastes like bubblegum.
We need to talk about Joey when he's not in the room. So when Joey goes, I'm gonna stay behind and talk with you guys.
Probably.
It does not taste like bubble gum.
This one is a nut.
It's insane for him to have said it tastes like bubble gum.
It's a smaller nut than the others,
Yeah.
but I still say 2 nuts nonetheless.
It's like a regular, just like a peanut, like solid on its own.
Yeah.
But when you have the mixed nut and there's like a Brazil and a...
Is the Brazil the huge one?
Yeah. You don't like those? I like those.
I'll give them all to you. The cinnamon one's red. Is it going to taste like a red hot?
Probably, which is...
I don't want that.
Yeah, me neither.
It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
The hell?
Oops. It also tastes like a candle.
Yeah. Even more so.
Yeah. This tastes like the store that you go into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, you're in like the little Amana colonies or something. And for the people out of town, that's a little colony where people with funny hats live.
Mm-hmm.
And they have little kind of stores that you walk into that are always seasonal. They have a bunch of seasonal stuff like locally sourced and made candles and different type
Like
of
wood stools.
And you might see like pick up a candle that says heirloom pumpkin, and then that makes you start thinking like, what is an heirloom pumpkin? Is that a pumpkin you passed down? It's just a little rotten seed at this point.
This was your great-great-grandfather's pumpkin.
It's a seed and it's trash. We need to throw this out, Grandma.
I'm popping it in my mouth.
You're gonna eat it.
Thanks, great-great-grandpa dude. This one might be my least favorite, just because it's so much that flavor. Yeah. And I'm a Cinna guy, but I think still a nut.
I'm giving all of these a nut, my friend.
Yeah,
these are great.
That's great. Here, give me those. I'll take those home.
I actually love these.
Yeah.
I want you to eat more of them. I guess we do get one more each.
What's your favorite?
God, you know what? I think it was the green apple or the caramel apple.
Yeah.
Why don't you pull us out a couple green apples? Is that what it was for
People
you too?
To turn this off.
We started pretty strong. I've heard from a lot of people, like one guy. Colin Mockery is the best thing we've ever done.
Bless you.
But yeah, this is definitely, it really is. It's the food segment that just drags everything to a screeching halt. No.
Well, now we know, and this is just to get us. This is to get it out of our system. We've been purged of the urge to nurge on Mike now.
Yeah.
You put up with it now. This is like, this episode is the needle, is the eye of the needle, and you are a camel. After this episode, you will be able to fit through the eye of the needle.
Right. Now, if you were a billionaire, you couldn't. Even if you were trying to, you couldn't. But a camel, yes. Or a caramel. A caramel apple Tootsie Roll, which is getting my biggest nut of the night award. That's good, guys. That's really good.
That's been 2 nuts in a bunch. So, Landon,
Yeah.
it's been a heck of a week. Got anything?
Yeah, let me tell you this story, okay? Because it is Halloween adjacent season.
Wasps.
We're here at the fun studio where we decorated for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a coworker who likes ghostly things.
Oh.
Has experienced some extraneous paranormal activity and such, as opposed to the
Is that how they
the regular?
described it? They're like, okay, well, that was
that was
a little too much,
a little
yeah.
extra. Okay, so
Ghost must have been a theater major.
I like to add some trills when they're not needed.
Needed.
Okay, so he goes to this park.
Yeah.
That's near a cemetery
Oh.
to walk.
Right.
To walk his dog in the park, do a little exercising, that sort of thing. Watch that. So he tells me the story of one time he was out there and it was getting close to dark. He went out a little too late that evening, so it was getting a little bit dark.
It's getting dark sooner, you forget.
Yep. So he's walking back to his car. He's kind of a ways out from his car, so he's getting back to the parking lot. And he's walking to his car, and what to his wondering eye doth appear but a big black dog running directly towards him. Now, he sees it. His dog does not react at all to the big black dog. The big black dog is running towards him, and it in fact does run past him, and it just keeps running. He turns around and looks. The dog is gone.
And his dog never reacted to it.
His dog never reacted to it. He then goes on to tell me, so that's scary. That's a ghost dog.
Yeah, that's like, okay, yeah.
So then he goes on to tell me that this is near a cemetery that has a legend, a ghostly legend of a witch who does have, like a ghostly witch who does in fact, who does in fact have a black dog as her companion, which and it's near a cemetery, which struck a chord in me because we have a similar experience in that we saw a black dog and a witch in a window. Now, I didn't tell him the part about the witch in the window because it does, as the kids say, give me ick. But
No one has heard that phrase but you.
No.
You're trying to start a new...
No. People say that.
You're on IckTalk. Landon's trying to start hashtag IckTalk.
No, check it out, people. It's a thing. And that's something that people say on the internet.
And if you guys can hear, we just have another studio in our studio space. They are doing a podcast in that studio across from us. So if you hear some other voices, it's not a ghost dog. Now, Landon, I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it?
The story?
Was it the same?
It was not the same cemetery.
So close.
But it was close. So it could be that they...
I mean, here's the thing.
They're ghosts.
That dog was... We were also driving away from that cemetery.
Well, do you want to tell the kind folks our encounter with the dog?
We went to a cemetery to film something. And yes, you know us as radio legends. You know us by the silky sounds of our prepubescent voices.
Hi!
Glansky Jumbo! But we also film stuff sometimes. And we were filming a scene at a graveyard. Oh, we tried to.
Yes.
Got there. Graveyard was locked. Small little thing up on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about Baywatch. You know, they have jugs. You call it... Landon calls them hills.
Small little thing on a hill.
What do you think
I couldn't even follow you on that one. Because they have big things on.
Oh, I'm making it up as I go, but that's a
what?
nipple. So we get to this, and so across from the cemetery, do you think they're trying to use our studio? If you're watching the video,
they're probably
you're
trying to get in.
So, if you are across the street from the cemetery, it is what, a trailer park of sorts.
Well, it was just one house.
A glorified.
It was one
house.
Mobile home.
It was one mobile
house.
home. Yes. Okay. So not a trailer park. Sorry, I'm making it a little too grandiose. But in the window, there's an old woman, and she's just looking out and smiling at us.
Right.
We're there in the pitch black of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
We're out in the middle of, nowhere. It's just the cemetery and this, and some houses off out in the woods. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of giving us a little look.
Yeah.
And we're just like, I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
We probably shouldn't be here. Maybe she's going to call someone. We're going to get in trouble.
Right.
So we start driving away, and we're filming in the car. And then we hear...
Right.
And a black dog...
Big black dog.
Come chasing after the car.
Mm-hmm.
So we go...
Ah! Drive!
And that's when we realized this old woman was smiling at us. And
Yeah.
Landon says those immortal words. She was smiling, wasn't she? And we go, yes, Landon, she was. She was smiling, wasn't she?
She was smiling, wasn't she?
The next day, I get to school and I get out of my car. Beep, beep. I take my sunglasses off because I'm respectful to the school grounds. I come around the back of my car and I just go to myself, I go, Mitsubishi. You're in high school.
Yeah.
And you pull up to school and everyone's like, and I go, Mitsubishi. And I do a double take because on the back of my car, in one spot, there is a handprint. One handprint, not my handprint. Nothing was stored in the trunk, okay? One single handprint. And I was like, that dog was chasing after our car.
Yeah.
That dog has a hand. Or it was its ghost companion, or it could have been some sort of ghostly lycanthrope situation. It's not for me to decide what goes on that's paranormal. I only know about normal stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that all being said...
Garfield 3, paranormal. Why not?
Why not?
Hotel Transylvania, Addams Family. People love the Halloween stuff.
They're getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, after all these years, no one wanted to see a Halloween movie. They're finally getting into it.
So why are ghost dogs so prevalent in cemeteries?
I don't know, you know?
Why is this so prevalent everywhere? We've had an experience. One other person has had this experience.
It's happening to everyone. And we should mention that ours happened, I don't know, over a decade ago.
Yeah, probably 12 years ago at this point.
Yeah. So, you know, it's happening pretty frequently, almost all the time, to most everyone
Yeah.
that goes to a cemetery.
If
So
you guys
anyway,
have
it's
any
just-
ghost stories, please call in 319-DUBMIIT.
Yeah.
That's 319-DUB-MEET. And we will play your ghost story on the show. It is getting closer and closer to the season of the witch, as they call it. Donovan's here, everyone. He came out with a song, I think last year or 2 years ago, called Season of the Witch 2. It's bad.
Is that really?
I have to look it up now.
Okay, so
I'm pretty sure it is.
He's just making that up. He's just making that up, and that's okay. You know, we can't. You know, some stuff is, some stuff is true, some stuff isn't. My favorite part about doing something like this is we can just completely make stuff up, and no one knows if we're telling the truth or not. You know?
And no one
my
knows it because
favorite part.
we've given ourselves the authority of just like people online.
Well, yes.
Where they're
and-
like, I'm a marriage counselor, and the one thing you should always do is sloppy. And it's like, you're not a marriage
You're
counselor.
not a marriage
There's-
counselor. I see that you're.
Or they're like, just want to give you guys permission that it's okay to rest sometimes. Who
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah, based on what?
I can lay down. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Also, no, I can't. I have to go to work. The Witch Part 2. That can't be it. Season of the Witch Part 2. Donovan.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how
Season of the Witch number 2.
because people
Season of
now
the Witch
are
2.
like,
Sung by Donovan.
you see that on the internet, and people are like, "Hi, I literally just got diagnosed with ADHD, and you probably have it too. Here are some signs that you might have it. You
Have trouble concentrating.
have trouble concentrating. You can't sleep after you drink coffee. You take a poop after drinking coffee. You can or cannot read small print."
Sometimes
It's like there's just the
sometimes
most.
you sleep less than 8 hours.
It's the most generic stuff on earth, and a whole generation is now thinking that they have ADHD. Which, hey, maybe they do. I don't know.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But maybe they need to change the parameters to be it. Because you're telling people this, maybe you shouldn't tell people. I've seen ones where it's like, I've got OCD and you should know this too. Sometimes you think about numbers. Right.
Here's something that's interesting actually, because some
Yeah,
people
finally.
we're 30 minutes in. We might as well tell something interesting to the fine folks. I saw this story of a prevalent online personality telling people that it is in fact good to self-diagnose.
Oh, okay.
Do not trust your doctor, because in their experience, and this is sort of a left-leaning online personality telling
I'm just going to put a little background music to this.
they're saying, do not trust your doctor. I went to the doctor for 10 years and they never could diagnose me. So finally, I started looking into it myself, and I diagnosed myself, and now I went to a doctor that believes me, and I got medicine to help with my issue. So all of everyone on earth should do exactly what I did, and do not trust your doctor.
Also, there are doctors that if you say, I think it's this, they'll say, okay,
Okay, fine.
like, I'll give you this stuff.
I'll
It's
give
not
you
going to
some-
kill you if you're wrong.
Right. We can try it. It's just odd to me because it is sort of,
So anecdotal and
it's anecdotal, and it is like, if you zoom out, people that you are screaming at about like the sort of anti-science vaccine stuff, you're looping around and saying the exact same thing,
don't trust doctors.
which
Oh God, Landon just the studio speakers are too much for his little ears. We can't use this.
No.
We don't have the rights.
So that's part 2?
Nope, that's part 1.
I was gonna say it sounds like
I'm just giving
lot
people
like
a little refresher because sometimes you say like, I was listening to Hello California when I was listening to Schmiegel's Hotel California. God, now I said it right.
Hello California.
Okay, so here's Season of the Witch 2. It's 6 minutes long. We won't play all of it.
This other podcast is really wanting to get into the studio. They don't know that we have 30 minutes left.
So far, it sounds about the same.
Yeah. I'm just kind of filling in the.
Keep in mind, the first one came out.
Whoa. He sounds worse.
What happened to him?
Oh, he aged? When was the first one?
1966.
Okay, yeah, now he looks like an 80-year-old.
So do you
Yeah,
think
that's what's wrong with people like Joey.
Yeah.
I know David Spade has a bit about it in his newest special, but it is funny. It's like, God, you'll never believe what this
Oh my God.
80-year-old
56 years ago.
You're right.
So this came out 55 years ago. So he said,
How we doing?
I gotta update this.
He said, you know what?
I don't sound like this anymore. People keep coming to my concerts to hear this song. Because he's like, when I look out my window. And now he's like, I did
Twitch.
I saw that.
He probably updated it to season of the
Probably.
Twitch.
When I look at my subscribers, all my likes on all my tweets, all my pokes on all my instas,
They're like, Donovan.
and
that's
the
not
pokes
very
out
upda-
on the street.
Oh, it's just the season of the Twitch. I ask you to self-diagnose, 'cause it happened to me. But now everyone has a distrust of science that is actually unhealthy.
Must be the season of the Twitch. Speaking of the Eagles,
I'm playing Star Wars Lego. You can watch me in a crop top.
they say I'm a fake gamer girl.
You only watch me from... No, you go.
I was just mine was gonna be a little dirty.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But I'm okay. So and it's your crop top. People call me fake gamer girl, but I'm a boy, so bite my knob.
What?
Speaking of freaking knobs,
Yes.
lumps with knobs on them. This reminds me of freaking Baywatch.
And it is cone.
You see the Eagles go on tour? These 80-year-olds going on tour. You know how much Ticketmaster wants for of your monies?
We need to... How much?
Like $600.
It's insane. We need to stop... First of all, stop scalping.
But they're perpetuating it.
Well, yes. They like it, don't they?
You're just doing John Oliver again.
What?
He already
really?
took care of it.
He did?
It's not gonna be a problem anymore.
No,
it's
that's
like
not-
everything else he talks about.
I've solved it! We have to cancel the show now. We're just... By the end of the run of Call and Mockery, we're both going to, in unison, just say everything the exact same.
In the final episode, you'll see us getting closer and closer together on screen.
We'll
and
just
they'll
morph to one abomination of God and man. No, but to be honest, that would be awesome.
Well, because it was. There's like the cheapest seats were the furthest away.
Sure.
They were like $300. I don't even know if I don't think I would go to this show. I was just surprised to see that they're touring because I've heard they're all assholes.
Yeah,
and
they all
in
kind of
their
hate each
late
other, right?
70s, yeah.
Oh, watch. Oh,
that was
that was gonna be close, kind
Yeah.
of. Anyway,
we were about to see the What would you do? You're riding a tram, and the tram operator falls asleep because he has shellfish allergies, and then you're supposed to pull the lever, but you're gonna hit a group full of nasty people or one innocent baby.
Right. What do you do?
What do you do? This is like the, and if I may get on my high horse, this is like the shopping cart thing. You know about this?
No.
It's the ultimate in morality challenges, because you do not have to put the shopping cart back.
No.
If you don't do it, someone else will take care of it. It's their job. You do it simply to make someone else's job easier. You don't get anything in return for putting your shopping cart back where it's supposed to go, right?
Well,
and nothing happens to you.
Unless I'm at Aldi, I get my quarterback.
And if we take out the quarter aspect,
Okay.
and I had one time even at Aldi, I had someone say, "Hey, take my cart,"
Yeah.
and I was like,
Sometimes we are not playing by the rules.
"But sir, you're not gonna get your quarter back," and he's like, "Look at this photograph."
Every time I do a quarterback.
I guess there is something else called a quarterback I could have done.
Yeah.
Hut, Mike, do it your way. He squeezes the oil on.
Want a wet sandwich? And you know what? I do. Give me that wet sandwich.
Have you had Herbert and Gerbert's?
Why, yes, I have.
This is a sandwich shop that I wanted to hear about because there was one that I ate at 10 years ago that closed, and now they said we're coming back.
They put in an Herbert and Gerbert's at a gas station by my house.
Well,
It's just kind of, one of those add-ons. It's like a gas station and a McDonald's, that sort of
is
thing.
it like a Blimpie where it's like in the gas station, or is it sort of like it's its own thing, but it's you kind of walk like it becomes like the tile changes on the floor?
I think so.
Okay.
I didn't go in. I went through the drive-thru.
Does it have its own door to get in if you were to go inside?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
believe
that counts as
I believe so. I actually don't know for sure.
But they get the stink
They have a
of
drive-thru.
the gas station bathroom.
They
and
get the stink of the bathroom.
bathroom gets the stink of Herbert's.
Yes.
Okay.
I went...
You did the sandwich, the sub shop drive-through. Interesting.
Yeah, they had a drive-through, and of course they sent a little flyer with some promotional buy one Herbert, get a Gerbert half off, that sort of thing.
Buy one Herbert, get one half off.
And of course, the lady that lives with me looked at the photo and said, "What is that?" Because on each photo of the sandwich is a little strip of bread on top of the sandwich. Because Herbert and Gerbert's is the type of place that cuts. They take the loaf, they cut the middle out, and then they give you the middle
And
on the
that's
side.
facts of life. They take the bread, they cut the loaf.
The facts of life.
So yeah, that's
So, yes, my wife was none too pleased to see the photo. It did look unappetizing, I'll admit. But nonetheless, I persisted because
I am woman, I am power, I am baby, I am shower. I am Herbert, I am Gerbert, put the bread right on your sherbet.
I went to the store. I said, "Give me the chicken thingy." And he said, "Do you want a combo?" And I said, "Well, it is $9 for a sandwich, so I guess I'll just go home and drink a frickin' soda water."
yeah.
So
That suds them up.
I didn't get a combo, but here's the thing. If you're a sub shop and you're just giving Lays and stuff, first of all, you're in Hawaii. Second of all, you nasty. Third of all, you need some different chips.
Yeah.
At least Jimmy John's has a decency to have their own chips, quote unquote,
Right.
where they are just giving you the kettle cooked Lays.
They
In a
give
different
you the kettle
package.
cooked Lays. Freaking Potbelly gives you the Zaps.
They give you the Zaps.
That's always a welcome surprise.
Jersey Mike's gives you the Vickies.
Yeah,
Is it
otherwise
Vickies?
that's it though, right? It's just Vickies or Lays.
Yeah, which is one demerit against Jersey Mike's.
Vickies kettle cooked.
I like.
So there's that.
But I just want more out of a sandwich shop side at this point because I can get Lays at my house.
I gotta ask you about this. When I went to Jersey Mike's and spent $15 on a sandwich, I got, and I don't do this often, and I mean, between the candy here and the Take 5 Blizzard and what I'm about to say, people are gonna think I've got a sweet tooth like all these college kids. But I got a cookie, and it was so effing soft.
Wow.
That I thought it was undercooked to the point of I was going to get salmonella poisoning.
Wow.
It was so undercooked, but it was so good.
Wow.
It took me 3 kind of sittings to get through this cookie.
Wow.
It was heavy. It was soft.
Heavy and soft.
It was heavy and soft.
Just like Gabriel Iglesias. He says
Yeah.
it. He says it. He says it so we can say it.
That's literally, and not to be Rob Lowe's podcast, but that's literally what he says about himself.
So Joey can say that.
That is the meaning of fluffy.
So it was good, huh?
It was a great cookie, but I was worried. Like I let half of it sit because I was like, am I gonna get sick from eating this cookie?
Well, what's interesting about sub shops, even Subway has good cookies. It's like even
That's maybe the only thing good about that.
that's what I mean. Like the lowest of the low as far as sub shops, and I haven't had Subway in years at this point. But if it was the only thing to eat, I would gladly eat it. I'm not going to turn my nose up at a Subway.
I went recently for the first time in several years, and look, I don't hate it the way other people do. I don't get the meat, so maybe there's something untoward there. Mine's just a salad on a huge piece of bread,
a loaf of bread
with mayonnaise on it. But other than that, I mean, it's if you're on the road and you got to stop somewhere and you.
Which reminds me, I can't remember what it was. I think it was a stand-up. They did your joke
About bread?
Yeah. They did your joke.
I have a joke about, here's my stand-up joke, and just imagine you didn't hear so the joke is basically, you go to work and someone says, what'd you do for lunch? And they said, I got, some soup. Someone goes, I just had some crackers and some almonds and a bunch of dry stuff. And you go, I went and got a salad and an entire, I had an entire loaf of bread as well. And your coworkers would say, you ate an entire loaf of bread? Like, I took an entire thing of pre-sliced bread, like Wonder Bread from my house. And I ate that, and I had a full salad with some chicken and stuff in there. And they said, "What are you talking? That's not healthy. You said you're on a diet." And this is how it becomes a joke. In case you guys want to take notes, you say, and I say, "That's what Subway is."
Yes.
They have tricked you into thinking somehow this is. If you just saw that loaf of bread that came out and you just worked on that by itself, you'd feel disgusting. But somehow when it gets wet and you've got some lettuce and stuff on there,
well, it becomes a meal that needs a side.
And make no mistake,
a side of chips.
You have to eat the whole thing, because if you have any sort of liquid on there, you try to save that for later.
You can barely even get home in time to eat the
You can
thing.
see it staining your seat next to you.
You're like, oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're like, oh, jeez.
They gave me a plastic bag, and it's somehow staining my seat. They gave me a plastic bag if I'm sitting in there.
It's looking like a Portillo's, where they dunk your thing in the slop.
Yeah.
And you ask them to?
Yeah. You're like these college kids with their sweet tooth, and they're dunking their sub in the slop.
So, Herbert and Gerbert's is absolutely terrible.
It is?
Yeah, one of the worst sandwiches I've ever eaten in my life. It was $9. It was smaller than a Subway sandwich. It was like 6 inches. And I know it's not about the size.
But they give you that little extra piece of bread. How was that?
Fine. That was the best part, because it didn't have probably one of the worst tasting mustards I've ever had. Just completely spoiled. I don't know. It's like our Herbert mustard or whatever, or maybe it was Gerbert's. But either way,
well, maybe that's the problem. You got the wrong guy's mustard.
I should ask for herbs instead of Gerbs. I don't know. It's one of these things where you're like, well, I want to try it the way that they always prepare it. I'm not going to customize it. And I like mustard. I like most mustards.
Yeah.
This mustard completely overpowered the entire thing. I could barely even taste the bread because it was so powerful. It was one of the most powerful. People come to me, they say, sir, you have one of the most powerful mustards. I say, oh no.
I had some Dijon mustard, and then I promise we'll stop talking about lunch. But it knocked my freaking socks off. It was the wasabi of mustard. I put a big gloop of it on my shroop.
A big what?
A big gloop on my shroop. And I ate it, and it was just like, and my eyes watered up, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, but then afterwards it settled, and I said, that's what I'm looking for.
I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Okay.
There's no way that you could make. You say you're making a whole movie called X,
I'm making a whole movie called X.
and at the same time you're writing the sequel. You're writing a prequel, and you say, "Hey, would you mind sticking around like 2 more weeks, and we'll just make this whole movie?" And then somehow it's got more locations,
It's bigger than the
more
other one.
actors. There's a whole score for it. What the hell does that work?
You saw X.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Are you excited for the prequel?
Yeah. It is it's interesting since, you know, the youngin plays the olden and the olden plays the youngin. This is no spoiler. It's just Mia Goth plays a youngin, and she also plays the old woman in the movie.
In X?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not a spoil. It's not part of the movie.
It seems like it is part of the movie.
It's not part of the movie. She just plays the old woman.
Okay.
But she's in the trailer for the new one as Pearl.
Is this like Midnight Mass? Wait, did you see Midnight Mass?
No, but I saw a meme about it. And
Is this like Midnight Mass where the whole time you're watching it, you're like, why do all these old people look like a guy in a costume?
was it?
Yeah, and then you realize.
Well, that's why I looked this up, because I was like, these old people look weird. Both of them look weird.
Every old. Well, that's a normal old guy, but he's married to Sacha Baron Cohen in one of his masks to try to.
Are You America or whatever?
To try to trick John Bongino into admitting he hates black people or whatever. They're like,
With his huge
what's wrong
chin
with
on
this?
top of his chin.
Yeah. And then, of course, it does make sense.
Well, and I looked it up because for some reason, also for reasons that I cannot explain, X was shot in New Zealand. I don't know why, but the
just
company
cool.
that made the old people suits was the company that worked on like Lord of the Rings and stuff. So I'm just surprised they look as bad. I mean, I guess the thing is they're used to making like elves and little dwarves, so they're like, we can't make it look. In the world of Lord of the Rings, that looks real.
Sure. Well,
In human life,
although I started watching the first Hobbit movie because I want to get ready for this Rings of Power
Yeah.
show on Amazon, which I'm sure won't even address anything that happened in Lord of the Rings. But I started watching it because I was like, I haven't seen this, and I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy proper in over a decade, I'm
nary
sure.
in 10 years.
So I started watching it, and I said, I'm remembering the other ones looking real, and these look fake.
It is.
even the all the main characters are dwarves, I do believe, and they are all look like they look like masked men. Guys in rubber masks.
They look like guys in Lord of the Rings, like Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it's because the first ones were shot on film.
yeah.
Like it's too clean now.
It's a little too clean now.
Because it doesn't get better. The whole time you're watching, you're like, this guy just has a fake nose on.
But even some of the CGI, like I'm only halfway through it, but there's like a part where a big giant guy picks up little Marty Feldman or whatever his name is, who plays Bingo Bagman, and it is some of the worst CGI I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It looks bad.
Yeah, miniatures are always going to be better than.
I know, it's just weird though, and it does seem like that the Hobbit trilogy is the sort of prequel trilogy. Like this is Peter Jackson having his time to be like, I'm gonna add all the bad jokes I want,
Yeah.
and like all the little kid humor that I want. Which the Hobbit book is supposed to, it is not as high stakes, and it is more of a fun adventure
But it's still
for kids.
not the way that movie is.
And I was shocked to see old Frodo back then.
Pfefferman at the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like right away, you're like,
Because he's like, Grandpa, tell me a story.
well, the whole thing starts with old man
Yeah.
looking like a young man, but he is old.
But he's even older now. But
He's
supposed to
older
be
now,
less
but-
old.
Yeah, he's writing a letter to Frodo, and you're like, okay, well, that's kind of a cool framing device. And then it just keeps going on and on for like 20 minutes before we even get into the story proper.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
kind of interesting.
It's
It's overindulgence, but I am having fun watching it, I will say.
the fact that
It's fun.
they're fine movies, right?
Well, so far, the first hour and a half of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey.
I would say
Is fun.
I recently watched maybe whatever 6 years ago. I watched the extended versions of all the Lord of the Rings movies.
Sure.
You don't need to do that with the Hobbit movies. They're already too long.
Okay.
I've seen them all, but I tried to watch I watched the first Hobbit movie again when the second one came out to get ready.
Sure.
And I watched the extended cut.
Wow.
It doesn't need to be 3 movies,
No.
but it is. And who cares if you haven't read the books? That's the story. The 3 movies is the story.
Right.
When people are like, "You didn't need to turn it into 3 movies." Well, he did, I guess.
I guess.
Like,
But didn't he add stuff?
yeah, there's other
Which
characters.
is just kind of weird.
He made up a character that's like sexy, and then he brought something in from another story of Tolkien's that I think has no
the
consequence.
Similarian
The
or whatever.
similarly in. There's some wacko that lives in the woods.
Yeah, Redonkulus.
Yeah,
The brown.
Redonkulus the Brown.
That's what this stuff is. It's all made up.
Yeah, I might do it.
Yeah, we should do it.
Like, I'll be like, the Silmarillion came forth from whence he came, atop Mount Dome.
And it just struck me, too, when a certain old white guy shows up whose name is Sauron. No. His name is... Saruman, but the bad guy's name is Sauron.
Sauron, and then there's Saruman.
I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it's like, okay, so his name is like 2 letters away
Right.
from the other bad guy's name that he turns into or something.
You made up a
I don't
whole
know.
language.
You can't come up with, I don't know. It just seems kind of funny, but
Yeah.
what am I doing? I'm sitting outside in front of an abandoned freaking theater building while 3 people wait to take photos in this very spot because they
can't
weren't expecting.
Imagine that we would be here this long.
Dude.
What if you went to go, hey, there's an abandoned building I've seen. It's been abandoned for 20
It's
years.
here all the time. No one's ever touching it. No one's ever doing anything on it. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's been here for 20 years plus.
You come.
Let's
we
go take
walk
our
over to
band
go Take some
photos.
band photos, and what to your wondering I should appear, but 2 tiny Dorcas atop Mount Dome. This is Mount Dome.
This
now.
is Mount Dome now.
Hey, this is Mount Dome now. They're leaving.
All right. We should too.
You guys can come over. We're done.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.